You know that feeling when something that once felt good for you and made sense for you no longer does? And while you continue to do it because you are chasing the feeling that it once gave you, it's also equally met with this feeling of guilt and dissatisfaction, maybe some anger and frustration with yourself because internally you're like, all right, I gotta stop this. And it could be something really big or it could be something really small. Either way, it's not making you feel good anymore. And that feeling of temporary goodness isn't even that good because it, once again, is equally met with that feeling of guilt and, or whatever feeling it is that just maybe doesn't feel good anymore. And if you don't want to feel that feeling anymore, you're being asked to maybe stop doing that thing, maybe take a different route. And any reason for not taking that different route is only going to be fear-based, which where is that going to get you? In the same exact spot where you're continuing to cycle this guilt and frustration. There's really, truly no reason to not move forward in your truth. The moment you make the decision to change something, to let go of something, is the moment that you shift into a higher timeline. From then going forward, you only go up. And yes, it may be met with, depending on what it is that you're letting go of or moving on from, it may be met with sadness, with some sort of pain. But it's not met with that guilt anymore. It's not met with that frustration. You can now remove that out of the equation, take some time to heal from whatever sadness or pain it is, and now you're also met with this excitement, this happiness, this newfound trust and respect for yourself. The most important relationship you will ever have is with yourself. And if you cannot respect yourself enough to, and this is no judgment, by the way, this is just bringing awareness to maybe some areas where you're being asked to step forward. But if you cannot respect yourself enough to do what's best for you, then you are breaking trust within yourself. And I know for me, I got to a point where I was doing that for so long, where I was living for other people and not living for myself, and not to where I just felt so I felt like I couldn't do anything. I felt so weak. I felt I was just very lost, and I could go on and on about the feelings that not having trust within myself made me feel. But my point is, this journey, your reason here on earth is so that you can consciously create your own life and you can become your own hero. You can learn to love yourself. Anything and everything that you are seeking in other people, places, things, you can find that within yourself. And I know how cliche that sounds, but this isn't a time where let me reword that. I know how cliche that sounds, but it couldn't be more true. It could not be more true. I used to hear about a lot of the things that I speak about and be like, okay, that sounds great and all, but can it really change that much? And if you commit to yourself, if you start making the decision to whatever it is, this little thing, this big thing, if you shift out of that, like I said, you're shifting into a higher timeline. And through that, you're opening so many more doors that you could not have ever seen before if you didn't make that decision. And then you go into this door. Now you have so many more doors. That's how it works. It just expands, 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 expands. There truly is no reason not to choose yourself. And if it helps, I mentioned inner child briefly, but if it helps, think about your inner child. Remember, if you can't look at yourself in the mirror and see compassion, can you at least have compassion for the version of yourself that's a baby, that's 3 years old, that's 5 years old, that's whatever age? They are asking for your help. They are always within you. and they are seeking your love, your guidance, your support. Take care of that child, take care of yourself, love yourself, rise up. You absolutely can do it. It is your right as a being on this earth to be happy, to live a profound life full of expressive love and light. Yeah, I think that's about it for the messages I have right now, but thank you guys so much for watching. And I know for a fact, if you're still watching to this point, you've already shifted into the higher timeline, okay? You didn't choose to skip past and scroll. You kept going, kept listening because there was a message for you and it resonated with you. So thank you for doing that for yourself. I love you. Mwah. Goodbye.